Welcome to Double Dose MMA preview of UFC Fight Night Adesanya Pyfer. Bad Jim, who do you have in the main event?
The main event. That's a weak term for main event. You know what? I'll tell you this much. It was hard to call it, but Adesanya is washed. All you Adesanya fans out there, just sit back, stop crashing out, understand that Adesanya, his last good moment was truly in 2022. And I'll tell you flat out, right, you can discount the Pereira win. Yeah, that was kind of a fluke, Pereira, whatever. So the last time you saw your hero be good was in 2022, and that was a long time ago. This man is old, he's slow, and he's bent. He's no longer a style bender, he's just bent. I know, man, it's hard. It's like a great story. He was very popular. But at the end of the day, right, Mean Joe Pyfer, I don't even know that's his nickname, is what I call him. Mean Joe Pyfer has this ridiculous habit of throwing this overhand right that just clobbers you. And look, he telegraphs it. It's not a telegraph. He'll send you an email with a picture of the hand hitting you in the face. He'll post on Instagram before it happens. He uses AI to generate an image to send it to you to tell you that you're going to get hit by it. But Izzy's not going to be able to get out of the way because Mean Joe is younger, more stable, more durable. He's going to crash in, knock Izzy, and I have it up on the screen. Take it to the bank. It's my solid gold lock. Round one knockout. Bye-bye, Izzy. Go back to whichever country. I don't know which country you're from. Is it Nigeria? Is it New Zealand or some other place? Goodbye. You really, 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 really should have retired before this. We were actually, and this is my last comment, mini rant. I don't like athletes when they come back after a long hiatus or a semi-retirement. But we'll talk about that with Mr. Chaser. Junior, hit me up.
Okay, well, this is former UFC champ versus up-and-comer next shiny thing. That's what is being set up here.
I like shiny.
Look, it wasn't too long ago that pundits claimed that Adesanya was the greatest middleweight ever. Yes, you heard that right. In the division where Anderson Silva, arguably the greatest UFC fighter ever, reigns supreme. Talk about contradicting statements, right? Okay, back to the fight. Look, Pyfer's an entertaining fighter with power and finishing ability. So maybe most, like Jim, favor him, but not me. Adesanya just has too much experience and fights with the top tier of the top tier. You have to remember that. So
and losing to him. Okay.
All right, you had your chance. Now I'm gonna give you Adesanya by unanimous decision. Now, what does AI think about it?
What AI?
What does AI think about it?
AI, man, I gotta tell you, we did some upgrading on the AI systems, and it's churning out some really interesting picks. We actually spent quite a bit of time on it. It's picking Adesanya in a round 4 knockout. Let me tell you why that's even better, right? If Adesanya can, avoid the big right hand of Mr. Pyfer, you're right. His boxing skills will absolutely overwhelm in the later rounds when we don't know. Pyfer's never seen a 5th round. You know why? He's never fought in the 5th round. AI might be onto something here. I'm just saying. We got to watch this AI pick. It may upset me. Anyway, man, why don't you tell me about Alexa Grasso and Macy Barber? Macy.
Well, here we have a rematch. Okay, in their initial fight, Grasso won by unanimous decision, and it was very close, man. That was a very close unanimous decision. This is a close matchup again between two dynamic women who do much of the same thing. They like to keep it on the feet, but they're not afraid to go on the ground. Like, look, here's the thing. I don't think either of them has evolved enough to separate herself meaningfully in any way from the other one. So I think it's going to go much of the same way. And that's that I favor Grasso due to better boxing and improved takedown defense. So I'm going to go with Grasso again by unanimous decision.
That was a lot of a breakdown. I think Macy knocked someone out once, right? Maybe? I don't know. There's a lot of decisions. Who knows? Alexa has only ever fought Shevchenko. Oh, no, I guess she fought Macy. Like, if you look at her record, she's fought 2 people repeatedly. I don't like what how much information do we have on this person? Right? And even the Shevchenko, wins or losses, I mean, it's uneven. And, So I don't know. Go America, Macy Barber. I mean, she's coming off a long win streak. Okay, Macy. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird because they really haven't. There's just so much that Alexa Grass has only done with two people. It's kind of hard to get a good read recently, and Macy Barber's on a hot streak. So, nah. And by the way, boring decision. I'm sorry, a shockingly awesome decision. No, it's gonna be a boring decision. Anyway, man, let's see what AI did here. AI goes, oh, Barber in a decision. Like I said, I like this AI. It's smart. What do you think?
Okay, so I'm the odd man out. So we're moving on to Chiesa versus Price. What do you think, Bad Jim?
Mini rant. I really don't like unretired or people who come back or, dude, you're done and you're an announcer. Now you want to fight again. Every single time I've ever seen an athlete ever try to come back from a whatever semi-retirement, whatever it was, it fails. We can go down the list, starting with Jordan, starting with, oh God, just go down the list. Please don't do this. You were settled into the announcer booth. You were. I actually enjoy you as an announcer. I don't listen to all the haters. I really do enjoy you as an announcer. You've got great insights. Why take up a main event space with this? So really simple. Nico, look, I just don't think you can train up and get ready in time for a pro fight. It doesn't matter what you did before. And look, I know Nico Price has got a 16-10 record with two no contests, which is basically he's more or less a 500 fighter. I know they're setting this guy up to lose to Chiesa, but I'll just tell you flat out, it's too long, too hard. He's too gray. Nico surprises everyone and takes him to a decision and wins.
Okay. I really don't know what you're talking about. This is the battle of the journeyman. But once upon a time, Chiesa was ranked number 6 in the lightweight division. Now, those days are long gone. But that said, Price, he's never even been ranked ever. Yes, he can sometimes be, a little bit cunning and get away with things. But Chiesa's strength is the antithesis of what Price can do. I like Chiesa coming off 3 wins versus Price dropping his last 3. Price can be crafty, but Chiesa by submission in the second round.
Wait, what are the last 3 wins? Like he had 3 wins when in 1942. I mean, I don't, how long has
Hey,
it been?
it's still 3 wins, and he is terrific on the ground, and Price just doesn't have enough on the feet for him.
And
What
again,
does AI think?
what does AI think? AI agrees with you for the same reasons, and I would still discount both of it because the length between wins don't age like losses do. A win disappears very quickly. I don't know, like, and on top of that, what is he doing to prepare while having a day job? So, like, I just gotta say, I think this is one of those great. This is the most interesting part about this fight is his coming back. The fight itself may be that exciting, but this talk, this view is, and like we said, AI is really just kind of coming through, right? It's
Well,
kind of interesting now that it's like it's picking me on one, you on the other. It's kind of neat.
well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Price just got knocked out in his last fight. At least Chiesa has had time for his brain to like resettle and his chin to like, you know, get back into some working order.
Does
So
that
there's a
happen?
lot of like, yeah, it does.
Do chins
Absolutely.
come back? It's an interesting discussion. Why don't we save
Absolutely.
that for one of our stirring the pot, whatever we call it? That's a great conversation. Can a chin come back? But because by that definition, if Volk waits long enough, he comes back to being the old Volk, like the original Volk, and not the
You
hey, I've been beaten up so hard I can't remember my name Volk.
well, well, Volk still won his last fight, and remember, that's why fighters keep talking about, hey, you took a fight too soon after getting knocked out. That by itself gives you the, you know, the general fighter understanding that you have a time period to get back closer to where you were before than just putting yourself in the line of fire for a quick other knockout. All right. So We have Erosa versus Douglas. Who do you got, Bad Jim?
Um, yeah, this was a hard one, but it really wasn't. Um, Arosa is just too inconsistent, and maybe I'm doing a little bit of MMA math, but I don't think his cost a lot. People like to say, "Oh, your loss age well if the guy you beat you is, going on." So he lost to Costa. It's just that's so irrelevant, right? Um, the important part was he was on a win streak and then got literally just KO'd, right? When he finally met quality, he crumpled. Now he's facing an unknown opponent. Does he know how to adjust? He's never shown this skill of saying, and by all accounts, Douglas is real. By all accounts, I mean, I know there's not a lot of UFC data. So can he understand it? No. He has shown he's too inconsistent. He hasn't shown any real fight against. If Douglas shows up with an ounce of quality, what'll happen to him is what happened when he was up against Costa, who is turning into right a monster. So I don't give him any credit for that loss because it's a quality loss at all. It actually shows his weakness. So no, it's Douglas, second round KO TKO. Welcome to the outer darkness, right, Erosa? What do you think?
Well, that's some serious hate on Erosa by you. I think this is one of these situations where you have a UFC fighter versus a new guy from Dana White Contender Series. We just saw a similar situation with Silva versus Campbell last weekend. You and I both got suckered in to Campbell, the greatest thing since sliced bread, because he looked great against, just lower competition. And we got reminded that consistent, high level competition is very determining and very important. This time, I'm not going to go with the hype and I'm going to take the UFC seasoned Erosa. Erosa by decision.
See, you have to kind of remember something. It was you and AI that took Campbell last time, and I took Silva.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You
Yeah,
took Silva. Yeah,
yeah.
my
And which
bad.
is kind of
My
fun
bad.
is don't worry. We tend to be contrarian, like contrary to each other, which is what makes this really interesting. Right? Otherwise, we're sitting around just agreeing on all of our favorite fighters, right? Look, let me just let's cover AI first. Again, this gets super interesting. AI is siding with me this time, though, in the first round, and that should say something.
Oh,
And look, and I understand your point about the contender series, but for every time you get there's more contender series winners than there are losers, right? I mean, how do you factor in the Iwa Baranuski effect? The monstrous monster. He was a massive undergrad, takes out Muhammad Ali, and all he's done in the UFC in his two fights is destroy other human beings at will. So, like, I get it. I did have a chance to watch Douglas. I think there's enough quality there to confuse Erosa, who is, I think, confusable. But like I said, and by the way, it's not hate. I just Erosa's not that thrilling of an opponent. Anyway, what do you think about the next fight? Mansoor Abdul Malik versus Yusuri Boguri.
I love this fight. Okay, so this, I can't believe that this fight was lower than the other ones. I guess it's just because they're more unknown, but okay, this is quality fight. This fight is going to be a stand-up scrap between here. I'm not hating on them. These are two Dana White Contender Series guys, but these guys love to throw heat. Okay. However, I think Abdul Malik just has several advantages, man. One, more UFC octagon time, and two, better foot movement and speed. So I like Malik by TKO in the third round.
I know I'm going to go out of order, but AI agrees with you except for the round. So again, this is where I think we've made some great upgrades on the AI side. We're getting alignment. It's not consistently aligned with one or the other, but it's aligned overall. So that's really cool. I mean, I'm gonna have a little bit of fun here. I mean, look, Belgarui, his name ends in an I. You always pick the guy with a weird, super weird name, right? I mean, look, like if you look at you look at the guy, he looks scary. Like you don't want to meet this guy anywhere. I know you're going, oh my, come on, get to the point. It sort of is. It's like, you're right. He's an unknown quantity. He showed, again, really well in the Contender Series. And Abdul Malik's had more octagon time. But I'm going to flip back to my earlier point. Abdul Malik, does he know how to adjust to a relative unknown? It's one of the biggest things. Not enough tape, not enough comparable UFC time. Can you adjust to somebody you haven't really studied? And some do, some don't. And it's really incredibly hard to adjust for that. A good example is Danny Silva did last week against Campbell. And I mean, he did. He was able to kind of read that on very little data and go forward. Some have it, some don't. I just don't think Abdul Malik, I think he's very wooden, plotty, the way he looks at fights. I don't think his fight IQ is even that high. I know I said it. Go ahead. Hey, look, I want to root for the guy. He's an American. I'd love to see the flag wave. But at the end of the day, the guy with the funny name is going to win, and it's going to be in a decision. So I'll be the odd man out between you and AI.
Fair enough. And we'll also disagree that somehow Belgarui is a more odd name than Abdul-Malik. But all right.
Yeah, Captain Hyphen. I understand. The hyphen throws me. I thought he was
I'm sorry, Abdul.
Abdul Malik. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go on to the next one.
Finally, we have the opener, which is McKinney versus Nelson. What do you say, Bad Jim?
Oh, come on. We all love McKinney. McKinney. If this guy gets a knockout, he wins, or he'll get knocked out. He's kill or be killed. And he fights like fight. He goes for the kill or he dies. Man, that's probably not the best way to fight, and obviously he's got a lot of losses. And that's something is to be looked at. And obviously, I don't know what his longevity is because he's getting beat up. But wow, is he entertaining in the first round. This is going to be a first round KO TKO. And let me tell you something about Mr. Kyle Nelson. Hey, kids, cover your ears. Kyle Nelson looks like that one you-know-what star that we accidentally meet in the grocery store, when you're with your girlfriend or wife, and you have to pretend like you don't know who he is or what he does for a living, okay? I mean, Garcia knocks him out easily, okay? Easily. And McKinney, wait for the comparison, isn't really dissimilar. He's kind of like Garcia with his power. Garcia is more, I think he actually has a better fight IQ than McKinney and isn't quite, crashes into things. But in terms of power and his actually on the feet skill, it's pretty good. So I don't know that I don't know that that the Canadian what star has enough in his repertoire to answer McKinney when we definitely know that he didn't have it for Garcia. What do you think?
Well, I'm gonna have to be leaning toward what you said. This is so basically they're starting the card off with a war of UFC journeymen, right? Look, both have had enough UFC experience to be legitimately dangerous in somehow to anyone, okay? The difference is in styles. Nelson's checkered past is dominated with decision wins among his losses. McKinney, on the other hand, just doesn't go to the judges, okay? Win or lose, he goes out on his shield. So absolutely, give me McKinney by TKO in the second.
Okay. Well, let's see what AI says. Hey, AI goes the way of Nelson with the TKO in the third. And you know what? That's not a terrible answer. If you really look at it, it's not the worst thing anyone could say. Because what it says is Nelson takes him to the third round, knowing if he could survive the first round flurry of McKinney, he could just pick, wear McKinney down, break him down for cardio, and we sit here with kind of we sit here just kind of wondering what the hell's going on, right?
It's gonna be good to start with a finish for the fight card.
Yeah, I would say so.
Or are you arguing for a decision to start off the fight card?
Yeah, I know, right? It's this. Actually, I think AI's got a little bit wrong. It's McKinney in the first, or it's Nelson in a decision.
So which is it?
Oh, I think it's McKinney in the first because he knows. No,
I'm saying AI. What is AI going with?
Oh, it did Nelson TKO in the third.
Nelson by TKO in the third. Wow. Yeah. So we have a wildly different uh, point of view from AI. That's very interesting
And
because
let's see what
I think
it's.
that's as lopsided as it gets.
Yeah, so AI's breakdown was McKinney. Obviously, we are just saying it. If he doesn't get the first round finish, he basically has no cardio by the third. And remember, he's never seen a fifth. So,
True.
um,
Go
and
ahead.
Nelson, can survive. I guess his nickname is the Monster for some reason. So yeah, I mean, they're kind of really AI's really landing on the fact that if you have enough sufficient defense or ability to take damage, McKinney will just literally gas himself out and he's just dead on his feet. So I I get the position, but you gotta remember, cardio is trainable. Cardio is fixable. Cardio is not something you're stuck with your whole life. And all McKinney has to do is focus on cardio at some point, and that all of a sudden all that goes away, and we don't know what second or third round McKinney looks like. If he shows up as second and third round McKinney, there's no way in this earth that the Canadian star wins.
Uh, and I'll just add this: your cardio goes down as you get punched.
Mm,
So if
mm.
McKinney does a lot of damage, you're draining a lot of cardio from your opponent.
Yep.
So there it is, guys. Thanks for joining us for this like preview of this week's fight night. We had a lot of fun breaking down, the main event certainly and the other fights. Tell us in the comments what you think. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Who do you have winning by what type of method?
That's it. See you, everyone. We'll see you after the fight.
Peace.